So, what the employer actually want? If you are a beginner there, it's your first time to start looking for a job as a forklift operator. Today we'll go through the detail and the little tip that will help you to navigate your first day. What employer actually want when you are going for a test? Look, there are many things that employer has in his docket to profile to look for a particular worker or forklift operator who fit in their company. So, but there are silent rules that beginners don't know. Among those rules are one, what time did you show up? So if you're a forklift operator, oh, this microphone was off. Let me put it in. So if you are a forklift operator and you are a beginner and you just get to you are just getting to you are going to your first interview, most of beginners don't fail because they don't know how to drive. It's simply because they go there, they panic, and they don't actually know what the recruiter need. So what you simply need to do as a beginner is that get at the workplace 20 minutes in advance. That's your first tip. When you get at the workplace 20 minutes in advance, this is what you get as benefit. You see people coming in, you get familiarized with the workplace, with the entrance, the area of work. And then, more importantly, as people are coming in, oh, the network is too slow. I hope you'll go through. I said, get to the workplace 20 minutes in advance. You are a beginner. It's your first day interview. You are going for a test. You want to get the job as a forklift operator. But number one tip is that get there 20 minutes in advance. If you can make 30, it's good, but 20 minutes is enough. That 20 minutes, be an observant person at the workplace. This is what your 20 minutes. First, you see the working area, because those are the make panic new forklift operator because it's his first day. And then he doesn't know the environment where he will be working, the company. So if you get there 20 minutes in advance, you'll be looking at people coming in. And surprise, you may even see, because you arrive early, you may even see the person who will be testing you, who will be giving you your first test. I mean, most of the time, it's another experienced forklift operator who have been working there for a long time that an HR will recommend him to test you. You may see him coming. You may greet him even before he tests you. That counts a lot. Because you just establish rapport. You feel like we are human beings. When people are coming in, hey, hi, morning. I'm just it's my first time, so I'll be doing my test today. Oh, okay, great. Nice coming through the company. You see, that person you have greeted, you just greet at the entrance, and then you are saying it's your first day at work. You are coming for a test as a forklift operator. You will not know that is an experienced forklift operator who even test you. So if you're 20 minutes, you have gone there and you greet him, that's another for you. It's a bonus. It's another it's a yearly relationship you have established, and that's help you to beat out your pressure, your panic, you boost your confidence because you just get there 20 minutes in advance. So another thing you need to do as a forklift for a beginner is that Now that you are there 20 minutes in advance, look around. So if the HR have called you in the office, but most of the time they don't call you because they are busy organizing their document or because they just came in themselves at work. So, but for you, look around. Look the movement. Observe the movement, how people are coming in and out. Look around, and then as you are looking around, you realize that it's boosting you. You are getting familiar to the place. People are coming in, you are greeting them. Make sure you are greeting everyone that is coming in. If you get your 20 minutes, make sure your 20 minutes count. And this is what you don't know. That 20 minutes earlier you came, the HR have noticed, because you will go to the HR and tell him, hey, I'm Ben Johnson. I'm here for a forklift test. The HR will notice. Then the HR will quickly organize for the experienced forklift operator working in the company will give you a test. And that you have scored a point, because you are showing that you have shown them that you are serious about what you are about to do, because you came early. And then, as you can see, after the test, you may go back to the forklift operator, to the HR to make another conversation. Then if your 20 minutes is valuable, because you are talking to the person who will again talk to you if they are employing you or not. So you are getting familiar with their face, with their body language, in such a way that it will give you a bit of comfort. Yeah, so that your 20 minutes, look around at the workplace, greet everyone that is coming in. You may greet the person who tests you. That will help you to relax. So as you are doing the test, as you are looking around, and I just want to know if I'm connected. Can you hear me? I just want to know if people can hear me as I'm talking. So look around at the workplace as you are there, and then continue greeting people as they are coming in. Now, that's your 20 minutes. You are warming up. So after, what they usually do is that the HR, most of the time, they are not the one giving you a test, but they are, in certain cases, but rarely, the HR that is handling the employment issue, they are not the one who give you a test. It will be an experienced factory operator who know the ground, usually drive around, who will give you a test. Therefore, based on your time, they will call you to go for a test with an experienced factory operator. Then remember, your 20 minutes, you have just used to warm up there. Then you go for a test with an experienced factory operator. So why most of the factory operator fail is because as they are panicking, they totally forget about the silent rule, the safety rule. Before I continue, developing, giving you the tip on what you should do, this is one golden rule. When you are going for a test, the safety rule is your priority. That's what most of the factory operator will forget, especially the beginner, because they will be thinking that they are going just to drive the forklift, and then that's the reason why the employer want to hire them. I'm here to tell you that it's not true, because the employer is looking for someone who will help them keep the place safe. They are not looking for someone who will come and drive the forklift and create accident. Therefore, your first day at the test your first day as a test, the golden rule is this: is this guy following the safety protocol? Is this guy know how to apply safety? Is this guy can drive a forklift safely in our workplace? So imagine yourself that they employ you, and then in your first week, you hit a rack, and then the rack collapsed and product fell down and is broken, and then there's investigation. They need to figure out how this accident happened. So that's why when they are employing a forklift operator, the priority of an employer, a recruiter, is: am I hiring? Am I testing? I'm not getting someone who know about safety at work. Am I hiring someone who can operate a forklift safely at the workplace? Those are the questions that a recruiter asks himself. So now, when you are in your test, so you are going for a test. What the person giving you a test is looking for is that safety. Yes, I'm not saying if you don't know how to drive a forklift is a good thing. No, it's part of your, as a forklift operator, you need to know how to operate a forklift. You need to know how to handle. You need to know how to drive. That's the fact. But in the office over there, the HR will be at the camera if he's not present physically there at the test. So when the experienced forklift operator is testing you, the HR may be there, or the HR may be in the office but checking the camera to see whether you are applying the safety rule. And one of the safety rule is basic. When the person giving you a test say, okay, that's the forklift, because they will show you the forklift you need to use. You go there to the forklift. They say, that's the forklift. Start your test. So we want you to start the forklift. They will give you directive. They will tell you, okay, that's the pallet there. We want you to pick that pallet from the floor and put it in the height. So if you are a beginner and you don't have confidence, you start panicking. But you should not panic. The only thing you need to do in this case, they have given you instruction. You got the instruction. Now, the only question you need to ask yourself is that, how can I do it safely? Let me tell you before I continue. They will not be looking for you to do faster. No, they will not be looking for speed. And I know some of the forklift operator, even those that are the training, especially those that I'm training, the beginner, even those who are coming for refresh, when they come for, even as I can see there, when they are coming for a test or refresh their course, so because at the end of each course, there's a final practical test that we give for students to do it. So most of the time, this is what happened. I remember he's an Asian guy. I will never forget him. So he did all the practical, driving during the course very well. He did the theory very well. But now, when we go to a final test, because he heard that is a final test, he start panicking. This guy, I never forget him. So what he did is that, because I designed most of the time at the final test, we need to test you how to pick a load from the floor. We need to teach you how you can drive the load within the aisle, and we need to teach you how you can put the load on the height, and we need to teach you how you can take the load from the height to bring down, and then navigate and come and put on the eye view. So because on the shelf, on the rack, the eye view is very important, because we want to see, because especially those who are driving the sit-down forklift, the eye view is where they use a lot of sit-down forklift to organize important product. So even if, look, when I'm talking about the eye view, is those rack that when you are standing, you can see, you don't need to do effort of lifting your head to uphill, up high. So that eye view rack is where most of the company usually organize or place or stock product that will be shipped soon, or product that has high value. Now imagine yourself, like, before I continue, so like when you go to a supermarket, you see that the supermarket, the product that they want to sell, or the product that is selling faster, they usually put it near in eye view in such a way that if you want, let's say you want to pick your beans can or your whatever coffee, is right there at the eye view on the aisle. So that's why the eye view shelf is an important shelf where people usually pack the most important good. But here they give you 5 minutes to rounding all corner. No, Abdurrahman. So look, so rounding 5 corners. So look, it depends for each training center. So just giving you 5 minute rounding corner, it depends for your ability. It depends for the objective of a training center. So each training center can design a particular framework that they can teach his student, so that the student will be able to master what they want to teach. So like what I usually do when I'm teaching a student is that it's based on your ability to learn, that I design a path for you to master the driving machine. But as I always said, it's not about driving. It's about how you have understood the safety call, the theory that we will have online. So when you master that, it's easy for you to understand the practical. As we are talking about the rounding corner, 5 minutes, it depends, really. It depends. There are some who can do in 2 minutes. And there are some who can do in 5 minutes. There are some who can do in 20. They need maybe more time. So what I usually do is that, based on your ability on how you are learning the machine, especially if I know that you are applying safety, I give you more time to master, because myself, I'm not a fast learner of machines. That's why I teach well, because I know the mistakes that operators or instructor who have the ability to learn machine fast do on the field when they are teaching someone. That's why I teach well. That's why even my course online is so well structured that when people go through it, they realize that they have more value, because personally, I'm not that good on learning fast any particular machines. Like I've told you guys here that the stand-up forklift, it took me the whole week, 6 days to master it. But when I master it, and my advantage is that when I master it, I link the safety rule with the operation. That's what gives me advantage to other forklift operators. Oh no. Look, it's true that you are taking me out off topic, but as I said, each training center, they have their way of teaching. They have their way of teaching. So if you are taking course from them, I think you yourself you can help them to, to address your need. You can help them to address your need. You don't necessarily. Oh. Oh. Okay, let me clean it. It's not clear. Oh yeah. Sure. Check now. Yeah. Look, someone just told my sweetheart just told me that my camera was dirty and I need to clean up. That's why I was cleaning up. Sorry for interruption. So close. Sorry for interruption. So okay, let me lower it. Okay, I think I'm good now. Let me shift a bit. Oh, no. Okay, so sorry guys, I'm not. I was not going live. I was not a regular person who were going live, so I'm still learning. So that's why sometimes my camera is not well positioned. So I had to reposition as I'm live here. So I'm sorry for that. Okay, look. Look, I'm glad you went on my video to pick up a lot of tips. But this is what I will do. I think, yeah, but it will be so okay. Anyway, because you are on our network soon, because I have not start sending the exclusive video to my network yet for beginner, but I'll do that soon. So because I had to structure a particular video that is totally step by step on the machine, the practical, so to help some of the people. So yeah, no, as I told you, when you are going for a drive test in the workplace, one of the things you need to apply mostly is your safety rule. One of the safety rule, as I was explaining before I start answering your question, start answering the question of the brother there, is that you need to apply your safety rule right away as we are going for a test. And if you are sure of your safety rule, you don't need to panic, because at your test, they are not looking for you to speed. So as I said, if you have reached 20 minutes in advance, observe the workplace, greet everybody who's coming in, tell them you are coming for a drive test, for your forklift as the first day. You may even greet the person who tests you. For those who are joining now, that's why the reason why I'm repeating is for those who are joining now. So now, when you are at the drive test, beat the pressure, beat the panic. How do you beat the panic? You started beating the panic at the moment that you arrive early at workplace. Your 20 minutes, as I explained, talk to the HR, you get used to his communication, because you may go to the office for a final communication. So as you are talking to them, you are beating your panic, you are boosting your confidence. Then greet people and telling those who are coming to the workplace, tell them, hey, you are here for forklift driving test. And those people you are talking, in the company, that will boost your confidence. You'll be feeling a bit comfortable. It will make you started getting relaxed. Then, as you are getting relaxed, when they call you for a drive test, you may be surprised that among people we were greeting is the person who give you a drive test. And then, as I said, we give you more confidence. Now, you are about to start the machine. Usually what they will say is that, hey, they will show you the machine, the forklift that you need to use for your test. They will show you. Then when they show you the forklift, the experienced forklift operator, sometimes if the HR will be standing there, they show you the forklift, and then if it's a forklift that need a key, they'll give you the key, or the key will be on the forklift. So they will be looking at you, what step you'll be doing. And the step you'll be doing, they are not looking for you to get to the forklift and start driving fast to prove them that you can drive. No. The step they are looking for is this guy could handle the machine, the forklift safely in our workplace? Could this guy whom we want to test and we want to employ, can he drive a forklift safe in our environment? Can he protect workers? Or can he cause accident? That's the question that the recruiter is having in his mind. And for those who don't know, even the agency or the company itself, when a company is giving a job description to recruit a forklift operator to an agency, to a recruiter, their number one requirement is to employ someone who has the ability to apply safety at workplace. That's their number one requirement, because forklift is a dangerous machine. It's not a machine, it's a dangerous machine. It can create damage at the workplace. Therefore, they are first looking for someone who can apply safety at workplace. Then the other criteria is that, we'll talk about that later, that they usually describe as the profile of person they are looking, is that if the person is reliable. But we'll come to that later. We'll come back to that later. Now you are at the driving test. They have given you the key of the forklift. They are looking at you. Therefore, when you are going in, the silent rule is the safety. As I said, let me repeat myself again. I repeat myself a lot. Because it's very important. If the HR is not there standing in front of you with the person testing you, they will be watching you through the camera how you are acting. In fact, the whole day, if they keep you, the whole day the camera will be on you. You will not see them physically at some time. Now, when they give you the key, they say, okay, that's the forklift. They want to see how you do. At your first, as you enter the forklift, I have described here, you can go and watch my YouTube channel. I give a lot of tips on how to enter in the forklift. They want to see if you actually remember on how to go inside the forklift safely. And in some of my forklift there, my YouTube channel, my YouTube video there, I have described several times. It's basic, but it's what help beginners. Because if you can apply just from your first day, before entering a forklift, you apply the 3-point rule of support, as in my YouTube channel there, you are at the good start, because they are watching you. So if as you are stepping in the forklift, you go in 3-point support, you sit down, they will just like, wow, okay, check. The second they will be watching you is, oh, this guy went in. Did he put the seat belt? Especially the beginner, when they go in, the pressure start beating in, they sit down in the forklift, they forget to wear a seat belt. Seat belt, because they know Even when you are driving a car, if you forget the seatbelt, that means you care less. So as I said on my title there, some operators, some people who fail their drive test as a forklift operator, it's not because they don't know how to drive. It's because they are failing to connect the safety rule that they learn in theory with the driving at the forklift. If you do that, you boost confidence. And I have said, I have a lot of documents that I send to people who are on my network there, on my mailing list, how to boost confidence. And the secret is your theory course that you have taken. If you are somewhere that they give you if you have learned forklift and you didn't learn the theory course, because that's the most important one, and all the theory course is basically a safety course on how to work at workplace with a machine. So if you have learned, if you have learned if you have gone to a driving center and they didn't insist on the theory course, you need to take another theory course somewhere online, or if you want, you can send me an email, or you can contact me. I can link you to our theory course. But anyway, there's cost for it, but we have a detailed theory course that we have made that is applicable. We have followed a Canadian standard, European standard, American standard, Australian standard in our theory course. And wherever you are in the world, when you take our theory course, it's mostly applicable to anywhere, because we are human beings. So a safety course that protects a human being is valuable for everyone. So wherever you are training yourself, the theory course, take it seriously. Now, when you sit down and you put a seatbelt, you see how in the brain of the recruiter, they will say, okay, this person knows what he's doing. Then second, they will watch at you. If you have forgotten, before you even go and start your forklift, your first day when you are going for a test, as soon as the experienced forklift operator have shown you the forklift that you'll be using, start doing your pre-shift inspection. Start doing your pre-operating inspection. They may say, no, don't worry, don't do it. They say, oh, let me double check quickly. This is a very important thing I'm telling you here, because even though they will tell you that don't do it, but if you insist of, okay, let me quickly check, you're actually telling them that, hey, I'm a beginner, but I'm not that ignorant that I need to drive a machine that a forklift that is safe so that I can avoid accident. Because if you want to do your pre-operation safety check for the whole forklift, you are telling the recruiter that I'm mind about accident. I'm mind about safety in the workplace. So that's the message. That's the indirect message, a signal you are sending. And it's your first day. So if you send that signal, you have sent a big signal to a recruiter. Now they will be rating you differently. They will now be just waiting for the other element. So you do your pre-operation safety check, pre-inspection. You go in the forklift, you go in 3 points, and then you sit down. You put the seat belt. You have scored a lot of points in safety. Yeah, it's basic. If you are an experienced forklift operator, that especially those who don't respect safety rules, they will feel like, oh, this is it's okay in my workplace. They will tell you in my workplace they don't care about it. Yes, you may think they don't care about it, but wait when there's an accident, then you will see. Because your manager at the floor will pretend, or he will pretend that he doesn't care about you checking, doing pre-shift inspection, you wearing a seat belt or you checking the safety things before you drive a forklift, you pretend. But when the fire comes, you'll be alone. Because as a forklift operator, you have learned. So you will not say, the manager doesn't care, or the manager told me not to do. It will not work. It will not work. So if they want to fire you, they will not fire the floor manager because the floor manager didn't tell you to wear your seatbelt. You're supposed to know because you have learned it. So in certain workplace, some manager will not care, some supervisor will not care, but remember, the responsibility is on you. Because you are trained as a forklift operator. Your training is about safety rule and how you can use the forklift in a safety environment by protecting yourself and other people. Therefore, even if they are not telling you to do it, it's your responsibility and obligation to do, to protect yourself. That's the fact. So, your first day, you have done the test, you do your pre-shift, you go in, you do it, and then they have shown you where you need to go and pick up a load and drop. Then you simply start applying your safety rule. Are you checking your blind spot? Are you driving fast? And this is the trap. This is the trap of beginners. As soon as they go into the forklift, because they think forklift, they hire you because you are fast, or because you are driving a forklift faster. They want to show that they can quickly move with a forklift and go and do something. I'm here to tell you it's wrong. It's totally wrong. Start your forklift slowly, securely. Where they ask you to do, go and do the thing. So you go and pick up a pallet, move slowly accordingly. Don't rush. The speed doesn't work in any circumstances. Because when you learn how to drive a forklift, when they are busy trying to recruit you, they want you to adapt based on their workplace. So in the workplace, there will be a regular standard of working and speed regulation. So you adapt on the way your workplace work. That's why when they recruit you, your first 2-3 weeks is like you are adapting to their system of work. Therefore, you can regulate the speed on which you need to be moving in the workplace. But the safety, it will never change. You actually have to improve progressively. Yes. So that's how it works. So don't try to impress your first day to going faster. You'll be using your opportunity, and that's where most of the beginners fail. Most of the beginners fail in that part because they think they need to improve, they need to impress faster, they need to be driving forklift faster to impress. No. Then you are just losing. Yeah. So now, let me answer this. I have come to your okay. So now, when they tell you to pick a load from point A to point B to go and drop, as I explained, our final test, when I'm doing a final test to someone who came to learn at the driving center, you need to be tested on how to pick a load on the floor and drop it on the height. You need to be tested. We test you on how to pick the load from the height and drop it at the eye level. And you need to be tested on how to pick the load at the eye level and drop it on the floor. During the practice, those are the things that we insist. Like when I'm training, when I have time, when I'm training, when I'm in the training center, when I'm training a student, those are the things I insist because I know that that's how the work environment works. Because people panic when they need to pick a load from the height. As I was telling the story about one of my students, there, at the final test, he panicked most of the time. When he's at the final, he did all the theory, he drive around. So during practical training, he did everything well. Then when at the time of test, as soon as he hear that it's a final test, his brain goes off. And it's only so much I can do at that moment. That's why I'm here to give you guys tips, because it's not only about going to, it's not only about, this thing doesn't happen only when you are going to for an interview test. It happens even when you are testing when you are about to do your final test, practical test. And that's why I purposely do a practical test based on what company recruiter usually tests people when they go to work, when they are going for their first time at work to be tested if there will be a forklift operator in the company. That's the reason why I usually organize a final test at the center based on the recruiter test that they do. And as I said, it's not magic. They want to see if you can handle the load safely from the height, from the eye level, from the floor, or if you can travel with the load safely to drop somewhere safely. And when we are testing you, we are testing you on how you are doing it safely. So as this guy I was telling you, when he pick a load on the floor, he drive. When he go to drop at the high level, when he need to pick the load at the floor, he pick it. When he goes to drop the load at the height, he starts panicking. He just panic. And then when he drop the load, you hear him bang. The rag will be hit with the fork. And then luckily it's training, so he'll be hitting other rag. He will not be focusing on driving slowly because he's not controlling his brake, he's not controlling. So you just go in and then bang. And then as soon as he hear bang, he have hit, he panic more, and then he want to pull back. He will hold the rag. So like, because he didn't set up the fork properly, he set up the fork properly in the rack, in the pallet. The fork will be pulling the pallet as he's pulling back, and then and this guy came 3 times. It's the same thing. I pulled him out the corner. I told him that, why don't you focus on doing something else? Because I agree that forklift give opportunity, but if you are not able to master on how to boost your self-confidence, on how to cool down when you are walking, if you constantly have panic when you are picking a load from the high, either you need to go several times to beat that panic, either you need to go in a special training where they will teach you on how to control your nerve, your mood. Either you choose to do something else, because there's no employer who will accept you each time that you want to pick a load from the high, you panic, you hit the rag, everything fell off. It will not work. So this guy came 3 times. Even though he did theory, even though he did everything correct during the practical, at the final test, he panicked. And the reason why I refused to sign his card, I refused to give him a pass, is because if you guys don't know, here in Canada, all forklift instructor, when they sign your card, if there's an accident, the first thing the inspector of the government do is that when they call the company to do inspection about the accident, they call the forklift instructor who have trained that person, that student, that person who have been in accident, they will call. So the instructor is like a witness. They will make sure they understand if this person have received proper training, proper safety training. That's why here in Canada, the theory course, the safety course is more important than the practical, because and they make sure you have like 10 to 15 hours of theory. So because they want to make sure you understand. So that's why over here the responsibility of someone to make you pass a test, if they are not sure that you can handle your pressure, is high. So now, at your first day, guys, I'm in Canada. So if you really want to take one of my course, which is very important, is the safety course online. Wherever you are, you can take it. So you just have to let me know if you need it. I will send you a link and you can take the course. But sorry, there's a cost for that. But it's online. But the training center right now is only in Canada. So, but what I do is that for those who are interested, what I do is that there are certain countries that I'm busy creating. I'm busy creating a network with them, a contract, so that I could be giving them my template on how to give a course to students, and then I'll be recommending wherever you are. I can recommend you the best training center, because I'm busy selecting the best training center, and then I'm busy talking to instructors. So wherever a training center where I'm finding an instructor that know how to communicate information, how to train, I'm signing contract with them so that we can be working together. So that any country you are, whether you are in US, in Canada, in Mexico, or Ghana, Nigeria, or South Africa, I'm selecting special training center that we will be working together, so that whichever country you are, I can send you them, but we will be in contact. We will be working together to make sure you receive proper training that is available everywhere. Because one of the information, one of the tip I want to give to forklift operators is that make sure you master your safety rule. Make sure you master your theory training. Make sure you learn how to combine that, because it's applicable everywhere in the world. Wherever you travel, if you are in US, you train as a forklift operator, and if you are master the safety course, and you are coming to Canada and you try to integrate yourself to look for a job as a forklift operator, that same requirement of safety will be applicable. Whether you have trained in Australia or wherever you are, if you have trained properly, you are in Australia, or you are going to Australia, or in UK, the same safety will be applied. And I have one of my videos there, you can see the biggest organization for that regulates, workplace and safety while you are operating machine, ISO International. So like in Canada here, most of the rule from ISO is mandatory to use it on a safety course. You have ISO, you have OSHA in US, you are OSHA in US, you are HSE in UK, and in Australia, Safe Work Australia. So those are the and in Canada, sorry, why am I forgetting Canada? Because that's the main role. In Canada is CSA. Those organizations, they are mostly the standard, because they base their requirement on solely the protection of a human being. When you hear human being, is that their rule on how to operate a forklift at the workplace is mostly to protect operator, your workplace, and people around you. That's only it. If you understand that as a fundamental, if you want to become a forklift operator, you will be 10 steps ahead of everybody. Don't learn forklift to just drive forklift. Learn forklift to be a forklift operator that applies safety at the workplace. That, if you put that in your mind, even if you are about to learn how to drive a forklift, if you put that in your mind, then it will help you to be learning. So I'm not here telling you that you master all the safety rules, you master all the behavior of safety operation in one day. What's important is that you need to understand that you are basically someone that they require to operate a forklift safely at workplace. Then if you understand that, when you are driving every day, you can apply your safety. Every day you can be progressing. And you'll be surprised. One of the topics we can talk about here today, you'll be surprised, okay, why some forklift operators don't have job, and why there's a lot of job available for forklift operator. It's just one answer. Those who don't have job, either they don't know how to look for job, either they have forgotten on how to operate the forklift safely, either they have been fired, either they have not built the safety muscles to be employed. Those are some of the reasons. Because all the time, like next week I'll be going out here. Is when I go live on Sunday. I live near a company that they are parking trailer all the time. So any company that you see that they are parking trailer, that means they are forklift operator they are looking for, who are working there. There's no trick. Okay, your first day, for those who are joining, your first day at work, your first day drive test, when a recruiter is trying to figure out whether you need to be working with them, is, as I said at the beginning, do your best to arrive 20 minutes earlier. Because that's your 20 minutes will be so valuable for you at the long run, because this your 20 minutes, use it to boost yourself. How? Talk to the HR that you are there. By talking to the HR who will interview you next time or after your test, you are getting familiar to her body language. That's one of the benefits I described. Second, as you are standing there, because you will not be sitting in the office, the HR will tell you to wait in the waiting area. And usually the waiting area is you'll be where most of the workers are coming in. And if you see someone coming in, greet that person, tell them, hey, I'm here to do my forklift driving test. So when you greet them, you tell them that, you'll be surprised that as you are greeting those people, you'll be surprised that one of them, you may be having a chance to, one of them may be the person who tests you. And then if you are talking to someone who tests you without knowing, and then out of the sudden he's the one who show up to test you, you have talking to him already, and then your body language will be different because you have talked to him already. So your valuable 20 minutes to arrive in advance before your driving test is crucial. And then I'm just repeating myself because it's very important for those who are joining, is that when the experienced forklift operator said, hey, that's the forklift that you'll be using for your test. If you have question, ask question. So first, as soon as they show you the forklift, do your pre-shift inspection, or also called pre-operation inspection. They may tell you, no, it's okay, you don't need to do it. Just make sure you say, no, it's okay, let me double check. As I said, when you are doing that, you are sending a big signal that you are ready to contribute at the workplace safety. You are ready to work as a forklift, as a safe choice as a forklift operator. Then, as I explained, I told you, as I explained, when you want to go in the forklift, use your 3-point rule. As I explained on my video there on my channel, go in 3-point. As you are doing that, they are looking at it. They know that this person know what he's doing. He's applying safety rule. When you are sitting on the chair, put your seat belt. They know, oh, this person is actually applying the safety rule. Then they have given you a description of what to go and do. So don't go fast. As I explained, for those who are joining, go slowly, accordingly. When I say accordingly, there's a certain accordingly, go slowly, pick the pallet of where they indicated you to go. And then if you need to take a corner, if you are driving and you need to drive in a small aisle, they want to see how you are controlling, how you are behaving. Then when you are dropping the load where they wanted you to drop at the height, they want to see how you'll be dropping safely. And they want to see how you'll be pulling back. I have a lot of video that I have done about this tip on how to pick the load on the high and drop the load down. So you need to set up your fork properly, because that's what makes people panic. If you didn't set up your fork properly, when you are pulling back, you see that your fork will be pulling off pulling the pallet off the shelf. Then you'll be panicking already, because the person testing you is watching you. So that's why I said, how do you build confidence? Is by mastering your safety rule. If you know you're applying your safety rule, confidence will show up. And that's why I'm here. I'm really here to, if you're a beginner, you are looking for a forklift, or you just get your license, or you're about to go and do a lesson about forklift, your secret is to build safety muscles. That will build you confidence. You will not be panicking when they are testing you. Look, this is clear. This is not magic. If I had to go and pick a load from the height, I know already that before I pick the load from the height, I need to set my fork when I'm on the lower level. I set my fork as I'm pushing the button to lift the miles to go on the height. I already set my fork straight. As I'm approaching, I go slowly, and then if I see that my fork are about to touch the pallet, I reset a little bit and I'm going slowly. That's confidence. I'm simply applying the safety measure. It has nothing to do with driving a forklift, because driving a forklift, really, if no matter what you do, it's not that difficult. What is difficult about forklift is walking safely, applying the safety measure when you are operating forklift. That's what is difficult about forklift operator. It's not about driving a forklift itself. So the confidence is based on how you are applying your safety measure when you are working. That's where the confidence comes in. So if you want to build confidence for your first day when you are going for a test, master your safety course, apply it when you are operating. That's all. You'll be able to pass your test. Now, another tip is that the person testing you, they'll be observing you on if you are checking, if you are panicking. Then when they realize that you are applying all the safety rule, you'll be surprised that as soon as you bring the load down, you go and put it back, they'll quickly tell you, oh, okay, it's fine, come to the office. What will make you go quickly to what they'll make you go back to the office to talk with the HR to confirm your schedule, your time, if you have availability? It's only when you prove them that you are operating forklift safely. Now, do you think you can be perfect that day? No, you cannot be perfect. But the only thing that will make you fail is if you are not applying safety. If you go fast, they will let you go because they can see you are on pressure. You make the workplace unsafe. But if you are going too slow and you are applying safety measure, you'll be surprised they may give you a chance because they know that the type of forklift that you are using in their workplace may not be the one that you have trained with. So when I say type of forklift, I mean the design, the model, because there are different type of forklift, even though the classes are the same, but the design of forklift are different. So in your training center, you could be trained with a forklift that starts with a button. But at the workplace, you could be given a forklift that starts with the key. It's just to start. But for those who are beginners, when they get to a forklift that you need to start with a button, they may panic a bit because they don't know. So people who are driving forklift, experienced forklift operator or the company, they are aware that you may be slow or you may have certain problem operating their forklifts because it's your first day. But what they will not tolerate is you not applying the safety measure. They can tolerate you of driving slowly before you do your thing because they know that after a week, you get used to their forklift. You get used to their way of working, the different route, the different shelf, and most of the time, they should not lie to you. The final confirmation of your learning of forklift is at your main workplace, because workplaces are totally different from one another. So one of the difference, as I mentioned, imagine your standard forklift. Imagine your standard forklift you are using is Toyota brand. They are different. They have different buttons. They have different system, but it's the same procedure. It's the same protocol. So if you go there and you don't know, you have been trained to another brand called maybe Kamsu or Lindele or Johnson so you have been trained in a different brand, but at your workplace you may have to deal with Toyota, and they have different way they have positioned the button. So this is one of the secrets I want to give you. Your first day, and when you are going for a test, don't try to prove that you master that machine that you never use. Talk to the person who testing you, ask him. If you don't know where a button where you can start your forklift, ask that person, where is the button? Where is the button to start? You don't need to know that. You don't need to know that because there are different variety of models. Each company may position his button somewhere. Each company may position his brake somewhere. Each company may position his light somewhere. So you don't need to master where each button, each position on the forklift it is. No. If you go into the forklift, you want to start driving the forklift, the person who's testing you, call that person, ask him. If you cannot see, where is the button to test? Ask the question. It doesn't remove anything from your ability to drive a forklift safely. You don't simply need to memorize all the forklift. Even me, as a trainer, when I go somewhere in a company, I find some different design of forklift, I give myself time to understand. It's the same process of driving, But you need to understand later, you need to give yourself time to understand the forklift. Where is the button? I ask people over there, oh, how do I open the hood here? Where's the button to open the battery area so that I can inspect? They say, oh, the button is over here. Oh, okay, thank you. Oh, I'm looking for, I want to raise my, I want to set my sitting chair. Where is the button to set my chair? If I can't see, I need to ask. So actually, when you are asking those questions, it proves that you understand the safety, because you don't just want to do out of your mind. You don't just want to. And as I'm in this section of about button and where they are positioned, most of the beginners, they fell on their test because they panic. Why? When they go into a forklift, the seat will be there according to the previous person who have been using the forklift, the way the seat will be set. They'll go in and sit, and then they'll try to fit in within the way the seat is set. So, because they don't want to try to do like they're hacking things, because they don't know, they are not comfortable, like me. I'm a bit tall and big. When I go to a seat, when I go into the forklift, I need to set the forklift according to my height. So if you don't do that, and let's say the person were shorter than you go in, you are tight over there, and that will make you even create accident. That will make you even lose confidence because you are not comfortable. But for me, it's basic, but for me, I train people for that. Before you go to a forklift, set according to your height. Set according to your height so that you can be comfortable. And that is another tip that beginner are not doing sometimes. It's another tip that usually make beginner fail their test, because as soon as they go to their test, they didn't set up the seat properly. They are uncomfortable with all the other things that are coming in their brain. They fail their test. Set your seat according to your height. That will help you to be comfortable. Then continue the process. And to conclude on this part, hacks. If you don't know where is the button, hack the experienced forklift operator over there so that they tell you. You don't need to pretend like you know. You don't need. That's not part of your requirement. Because as soon as you start driving the forklift at that workplace, you get familiar with the buttons, and next person that will be coming there, you may be the person who will teach that, or who will test that person, because you will be already working there. You get used to that machine. So it's not a mistake to be asking questions about where is the button here on there. So now, okay. So now, now that you've done your test, you have followed the safety rule. The probability of the HR to call you in, when they call you in, now it will be about maybe when you need to schedule a final interview, or sometimes they'll conclude right there on asking you when you need to start. For those who don't know, I mentioned here that you need to arrive 20 minutes in advance when you have, at least 20 minutes in advance when you have your first test. But what I didn't mention is what I talked before when we were live here. Make sure you get to your test. Make sure you buy your safety boot before you go to your driving test as a forklift operator. Because at that moment, you are not working in the company. They may not provide you with safety boot when you are going for a test. But when you get there with your safety boot, comfortable, as I say in one of my video, you are basically telling the employer that I'm ready to work because your safety boot are sending the message. Look, I'll tell you a story. You know, when we are doing training, when the students are coming at the door, usually what I do is that I'll stand in front of the door. I arrive before all the students. I'll be greeting them as they are coming. So me, how I read, because I think on the perspective of the employer, I can easily tell the way somebody have dressed to come to the training. I can easily tell if this one will be ready to start looking for a job or not. So the first day at theory, okay. The second day when we'll be operating forklift, the second day or third day when I will be doing practical after the theory, I'm telling you, some students will come with party shoes. They'll be dressing their style party mood shirt. They'll be dressing their classic pant with their expensive shoes that they will go for a party or on the cafe. It's like they will be dressing like they are going for a wedding or they are going for a date with a girlfriend. So when they show up at the practical with such dressing, with such dress uniform, I ask myself, the question that came to my mind is that, is this guy serious? Look, you are coming to learn how to operate a forklift. You dress like an office person. This is not an interview to sit in the office. So even though I'm aware that people are still training like, oh, when you go to a workplace, when you go for interview, dress nice, wear a suit, wear a coat, those type of dress interview was long time ago. That is when people were just doing office work. That is when office work was the dominator. Even these days, even people who are doing office work, if you show up in the interview as your normal dress code, as a normal regular guy who will be coming to work, they value it because you are more real than wearing a suit, and then when they employ you, you are not coming with suit again. You show up with t-shirt. Those office workers. So for forklift operators, as I came back to my story, this guy at the practical days, he will come dressed as in the office work. In my mind, I know already that this guy will have a problem. Because I cannot tell him not to do his practical, is his way of dressing, but let's be serious. Forklift, you need to be comfortable. You'll be wearing safety shoes. You'll be wearing safety shoes to operate. You need to wear something more, that will make you comfortable. Yes, you may say you are comfortable with the clothing, but it will be difficult as a forklift operator to wear your dress shoes to come and operate a forklift. So to my point, when you are going for your test, buy a safety shoe to go for a test. Don't mind. I know some people will say, oh, safety shoes are expensive. What if they don't employ me? It's your investment. That shoes will continue producing you. That shoe will continue protecting you if you are really serious about what you are doing. So show up at the interview with your safety shoes ready. You are telling the employer that I'm ready to work. Then the rest continue. It was okay. Let's say your video. Okay. No. Thank you very much, guys. If my video on my channel is helping you, I'm glad to hear that. That's why I'm here, because look, as you can see me, I'm not from the sky. I went through such thing. And especially me, you guys are looking at here, I'm not someone who's good on operating machines. I push myself on the industry, and then I have taken time. For me, when I'm learning a machine, it take me time to learn. It take me time to learn. So that's why for me, when I'm teaching people like how because I have difficulties of learning machines. So I'm not a fast machine learner. There are people, and I have been saying here, I train people who drive forklift, who master forklift faster than me. How to drive forklift faster than me. But as I said, our difference is that when I'm operating a forklift, I connect safety rule better than them. So if my video is helping you on my channel, yes, it's simply because I take my time to teach what I know could help people, because I had a lot of my first time of learning a forklift, it didn't go well. Why? It's because first, I'm not a first learner of machine. I was in another industry, and I was in e-commerce, online digital marketing. I was in that line. So when I forced myself on the industry of forklift, it was hard for me, but I pushed myself. So, and knowing who I am, because that's one of the things that a forklift operator need to know. We are not equal. People have different way of learning. Some people grow up where they start learning how to manipulate things. So their practical learning go faster. So be responsible of your ability. So if you know that you take time to learn, take your time. You end up to the same result, because as longer as when you master the forklift and you connect the safety while you are operating, you get there. Oh, for now I'm in Quebec province. For now, so someone asking me which province I am in Canada. I'm in Quebec province for now, but I'm in really in Quebec here in Canada here. I have more connection in different training centers. So if you're in Canada, as I say, if you're in Canada, I work with different training centers. I can connect you to one if you are not in my province. Yes. Here in Quebec, I train a lot of people here who went to different provinces, to Alberta, to Ontario, because when you are qualified, especially if you are taking important for safety for theory course, you can work everywhere. Your card, your forklift card or license or certificate, it depending on which province you are, how they call it, is applicable everywhere, because safety rule doesn't change. It's for human being, and then driving, operating, it doesn't change. Yeah. So as I said, if you are someone, be honest with you. If you are someone who take time to learn a forklift, take your time. But there are some who are faster to learn any forklift. There are some any machine. There are some who are faster. So, but sometimes the only way where the struggle is how to connect they'll master how to operate the forklift faster, but how to connect safety, that's where they struggle. And then if that's where their problem is, they just have to simply do it gradually and they'll master it. Hold on a second, guys. There's a lot of light in me here, so I need to set it. Yeah, I think oops. later. Okay, sorry guys. I was setting up the light was disturbing me there. The light was disturbing me. I was setting up the light that was disturbing me. Okay, guys. So your first day. Just put the safety rule in your mind. That's the silent language. So no employer will hire you because you are fast. Yes, you find certain employer, when you are in there, they start pushing you. Hey, do it fast. We have order. We need to deliver. Do it fast. We are order. But they are doing it simply because you didn't master your theory course. They are taking chances because you don't know how to respond, because you didn't master your theory course. An employer who pushing you to go faster than your ability is breaking the safety rule. So if you have mastered your course of theory, your right of protecting yourself, you can easily answer that employer who pushing you to go fast. So, but there are few employers who still doing that, but they are less and less, because even them, they are training themselves. If for people who don't know, managers, supervisors are taking the same safety course as you guys, because if they have to supervise when you are working, they need to know what safety is about. Therefore, when you master that your course, you are at the same level as the supervisor regarding safety. Yeah. So as I said, your first day is very important if you show up with your safety boot. Then I have given the tip here. When you get your license, line up company that you will be going for interview. Let's say company 1, you go there, it didn't work well. But if you apply the tip that I've given here, I've given here, if it doesn't work and you go to the next company, you get familiar to those to the technique on how to manage your pressure, on how to boost your confidence. So imagine the first company, you arrive 20 minutes early as I suggested, you do the trick, you communicate, as I said, and then you apply your safety rule. Let's say you made a mistake when you are picking a load, but it's like you have learned something. The next employer will not see the same mistake that you did to the previous one. If you are someone who's really progressing. So if you go to the tip I usually give to people I'm helping, even on our network, when you go to your interview, just know that I'm getting this job. I'll be applying my safety. If you don't have, go to the next one. Follow the next one. There's a lot of forklift job there. Go to the next one. Before you finish the third interview, if you're applying our safety tip here, you will get the job. Your morale will be boosted. Your confidence will be boosted, because you have managed to learn and to apply the safety technique of being at the first day. And another thing I wanted to talk about here is that, so I've talked about how to look for job before. That's why when you are a forklift operator, lock yourself a good 15 days to find a job as soon as you have your license. The reason why I say that is because the test you'll be going, consider it as continual. It's like you are continuing training yourself from after you have finished with your training center, because every time that you'll be going for a test, you may be presenting different type of machines, different type of design of a forklift. and then you will be testing it. The probability of the same machine appearing at your second test are high. And then the probability of the same questions, the same question that they will ask you as the previous forklift operator will tell you are high. And as I said, safety rule doesn't change. So if the tip you are giving here, if you apply the first safety rule somewhere and it didn't work again, and next time you refresh, you apply very well, you boost your confidence. So therefore, failing for a test, you don't need to take it as a personal thing. You just put it as your process to be getting where you want to do, what you want to do. So those tips I'm giving here are practical tips. Yes. Those are practical tips you can use everywhere, wherever you are. That 20-minute yearly is very important. Just 1 feet to accelerate. Okay. But how can a person use just 1 feet to accelerate and brake at the same time? Oh, guys, so there's a question here. There's a question here somebody asked me. You probably watched my video about how to accelerate a forklift, brake, and how to accelerate a forklift and brake. Look, forklift, as a beginner, you drive a forklift with one. If you are left-handed, or if you drive forklift with one foot. Why? Is because you remove confusion, because it helps you to train your 1 feet to work with. Why? Is because when you are driving forklift using 1 feet, you brake with 1 feet, you accelerate with 1 feet, you just changing from the accelerator to the brake. You are just using the same feet to change. Why? Is because that will remove you confusion that can create a safety hazard, a safety accident, a safety issue for you. Because if you are driving with two, there's a possibility that when you want to brake, your one leg could get in touch or could create confusion. So that's why they advise. Can you drive forklift with two? Yes, as long as you're applying safety. But common rules, common process of driving a forklift is with one foot, because you can easily take the same foot, brake. When you are braking, you don't accelerate. When you are accelerating, you don't brake. So therefore, it's easier for you to be navigating that way. But if you want to drive in 2 feet, like you see, like manual car, people use two, or manual truck, people use two. So they are truck drivers sometimes, or those who are driving manual car, when they come and learn a forklift, they are tempted to learn to use the 2 feet, because with manual car, you need to use one to press the clutch before you put in the speed, the gear, before you push the gear to your target speed. So you press with the other foot. You press the clutch, and then you push the gear. Therefore, when they come to learn a forklift, they want to apply the same rules. Can you drive? Yes, but the regular process is use 1 feet because it's more easier. So there are certain forklift that has clutch. Those forklift that has clutch, they use the other leg to press the clutch before they put in the gear. But those forklift with clutch are disappearing. Yeah, I know certain countries are still using it, but those forklift with clutch are disappearing because the technology has evolved. So the technology has evolved. They are using forklift with a different system now. But there are a lot of forklift with clutch. One of my video here, because I use a forklift with clutch that I demonstrated. Yeah, but those forklifts are disappearing. So to answer your question, yes, you can drive forklift with one feet because it's easier and it avoid you to create some mistake that could lead to an accident or a safety issue. Okay, another question I have to come to. Okay, my driving center does not. Okay, so that's what I can tell you. That's what I can tell you, Emperor. So you can drive forklift with one leg. You press the brake and then you accelerate with the brake. It's more safer. So then our topic today is how to present yourself and how to handle your safety, your test, your driving test at the workplace when they have already selected you for interview. So the tip I was giving here is that for those who are joining, get there and give yourself 20 minutes. Arrive there at 20 minutes before at your workplace, at the test place. Then you'll be able to create communication. You'll be able to get familiar with that area. Then, as I said, wherever you position yourself, whenever someone is coming in, greet that person and tell them, hey, I'm here to do my forklift driving test in order to work for this company. People will say, oh, okay, good luck. But you may stumble, you may be, as you are greeting, you may be lucky to talk to someone because you arrive early. You may be lucky to talk to another forklift operator who is experienced there, who may be the person who test you. So that will boost your confidence. And if you arrive earlier, as I was giving tip here, the chances of you speaking to the HR who have booked appointment with you are high. And then you get used to body language. For those who are in countries like Canada, US, Australia, UK, those who are in countries where they are using interview online, so like online, this is one of the tips I need to tell you. As a forklift operator, the same thing that happened practically is the same thing that happened when you have been interviewed online. So when they find your CV, depending how they have gotten you, when the HR call you, to start interview online to pre-select you before you can go for a test, make sure you talk to the HR only when you are ready. Because most of the time, like here in Canada, or especially in UK, this is how the HR do. They plan because they have seen your CV in those job boards, they have received your CV in those job boards. They will give you a call according to their plan, according to their schedule. And what they usually do is that they want to talk to you right away. Because if they talk to you right away, they are basically pre-selecting those they need to allow. They need to send an invitation to come and do a test. So when you pick a call, if you are not in the position to be talking, if you are not well positioned, just tell them you are not available and give them time when you could be available, whether after 2 hours or the same day or tomorrow. If you are caught by surprise, you start, oh yes, because you don't know yet even the company that have called you, especially if you are applying in several places. The call that you receive, oh yeah, they start asking you questions. Just put in mind that those first questions they are asking you are interview already. So therefore, you need to be prepared. So the best way is that when they call you, say, if you want to talk to them, say, okay, yes, I'm available, I'm busy. Can you call me back in 10 minutes or in 15 minutes or in 30 minutes? It gives you now time to breathe a bit, to refresh, to double check, and then to revise, what information you should give. So you don't need to lie, because the interview online, when they have done a job description, only take a job that you know that you'll be able to get there on time. Don't take a job that you'll not be able to get there. So that's one of the traps. When someone is a forklift operator is looking for a job, he just want to take any job with any distance. If you wake up in the morning and it's taking you an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to a job, don't accept that job, because you frustrate yourself. You will not be able to hold on to your promise. And then when you're a forklift operator, they are counting on you to move things in the warehouse. So don't keep on giving them excuse that every time, oh, you arrive late, oh, this is what happened, oh, my daughter or my kid or my brother, or there were accident on the road, or I missed the bus, or I didn't have someone to drop me, or this, and all those excuses, they will just fire you. So that's why when you are doing interview online, one of the questions they usually ask you is that, where are you located? Can you fit in this schedule? So will you relocate to where they are? If you are especially in countries like Canada, UK, US, so they will ask you that question. Don't simply say, oh, yeah, I will be there. Oh, yeah, I'll be there. No. If the workplace is far from where you live, just say you'll not be able to be there on time. It doesn't mean that you are doing something bad. I know some of the guys there, some of the new forklift operator, when a recruiter approach them, they just accept everything, and then they cannot meet, the time. They cannot fulfill their promise, because they have just accepted, and they didn't consider the distance on getting to the workplace. And as I said, a forklift operator getting on time, because for those who don't know, if you're a beginner, when a supervisor or your manager of the floor has a plan for every day or sometimes a week, so they are moving things, and within the plan of the day, they are emergency. If you are working in a company that does distribution, that company can receive a call or a emergency call that, let's say Amazon or which company is selling online there is out of stock, they need their product fast to their warehouse distribution. So the program can change right away. So if a manager, a floor manager or a manager have received a call early morning at by 6, that by 6 or 5 a.m. that they need to make sure they transport certain number of boxes or trailer to the next warehouse, so that they need to supply, and they have planned on you to be in at work by 8, and you don't show up because you are late, because you are too far, your excuse will not help them, because they will lose their credibility with their partner they are working with. So those excuses that a forklift operator, especially the forklift operator, they count on forklift operator to move things, as I said. So make sure, if you are a beginner, you are learning this, make sure you know that getting at work on time is valuable. Yes, because they plan on you. What happens sometimes for those who are about to learn how to operate a forklift, who are learning how to drive a forklift, or who are still looking for a job? trailers, trucks, they move in the night to go and drop load in certain warehouses. Business owner, managers, supervisor, operator, they receive call early morning or in the night for emergency truck, for emergency load. Therefore, before they wake up, the planning could change. So if they cannot afford to hire unreliable forklift operator, they cannot afford. That's why make sure before you take your job, make sure you can reach the workplace. So your interview online, when they are still screening you, because the first interview online, basically what the HR usually do is that it's just to filter those they can call to come for a test. So part of the filter they usually use is that they want to make sure you can show up at work. They want to make sure you have license. They want to make sure you are available within their schedule. That's the preliminary. And they want to make sure what type of forklift you are operating. Don't lie. If you have only learned sit-down forklift and they are calling you to come and drive stand-up forklift, don't lie. Don't waste your time because you will not make it. It's a waste of your time and a waste of the employer, because if they call you for a practical test, you will not be able to drive stand-up forklift if you didn't learn it. It's not because it's a forklift. So make sure you tell them you accept to book appointment or to show for a test on the forklift that you mastered. Even if you have learned the two forklift, the stand-up forklift and the sit-down forklift, electrical, go for an interview test on the forklift that you have mastered, because that one is the entry point. Even though your all aim is to drive the stand-up forklift that may pay more or which has a lot of job, go with the one that you master first. Then within the company, you can switch to be driving the stand-up forklift, because this is what happened. Most of the company, they have stand-up forklift, they have pallet jack, they have sit-down forklift. So if you have started with stand-up sit-down forklift, nothing stopping you to upgrade to stand-up forklift because you have it available there. So for me, usually what I advise people is that if you think it take you time, like me, it took me a lot of time to master a stand-up forklift. If you know it will take you time, first focus on sit-down forklift, get a job. When you are there in that company, if they have stand-up forklift, because you have a forklift license, if you are in Canada, you are European standard, or even wherever you are, whether you are in Ghana or Nigeria or Mexico, you will be, because the stand-up forklift will be available to you there, you will be able to access it and start driving on your break time. That's what I advise people. So for me, usually when someone come in, they are learning two forklift, and I see that they are mastering easier the sit-down forklift, I'll advise them to get job with sit-down forklift, and then when they are at the workplace, they can slowly be learning the stand-up forklift. Because if your colleague is driving, because if you are already in, your colleague is driving, you can ask him. You will be driving. You have time. Before you see, you master stand-up forklift. Then, when you master stand-up forklift at your workplace, you can now go back and pass to the training center and add the stand-up forklift on your license. That's one of the technique that's one of the advice I usually give to people who are having issue of mastering stand-up forklift, and so on. So you can start from somewhere and then you get there progressively. So the coming back to what I was saying, the interview online confirm the forklift that you are looking for. There are certain companies there, when they are desperately looking for a forklift operator, they will think that, and especially some HR, there are certain companies that HR don't know about forklift. They may not have available experienced forklift operator who can help them. So they don't know about forklift. They will be doing interview theoretically based on what they have read online. Because some of them, they think that when you are driving a forklift, you are able to drive any type of forklift. Some they will be calling theoretical name. Therefore, you in your interview, you need to make sure you tell them at the filter interview online, you need to make sure you tell them the forklift that you want to come and do a test, and ask them question. What type of forklift do you have? Is it electrical sit down? Is it a propane sit down? Because if they say they have propane sit down and you have not learned on how to handle the bottle, the gas of propane, you have not learned on how to handle it, how to change the bottle, how to double check, how to close it, the valve, how to set it, don't go for it. Unless they tell you that there's someone who train you about that, a qualified person who train you about that, then you can go. So, and another tip that I can give to new forklift operator is that if you are about to go for a test and you have stayed 2 months, 3 months without going through tests in companies, without operating a forklift, find a way to go and refresh. Find a way to go and refresh your practical before, as long as you know the theory, because the theory is available in your brain. Find a way to go and refresh a little bit in your training center so that it can help you to be comfortable again at the workplace. That's why when you are going for a test, because when you refresh a bit before you go for an interview, it helps you to have a bit to have confidence. So that's why it's off. Sorry. Sorry guys, I had a call there. They interrupted my call. They interrupted my. Sorry guys. They interrupted me on my line there. Okay, sir. Thank you. Oh yeah, no problem, guys. So no problem. So let me know when you need a reference, or if you need more tip, I can help you. And as I said, I'm busy. Look, I'm busy building network with companies who are hiring and with training centers. So it's such a way that in our community, in our BreezeSpeak community, when someone in our community will be circulating information within our community when they're good, high-paying job. Because I don't give reference to company that don't pay well a forklift operator. I don't. So even when they are calling me, especially when I was having a lot of call when I was training in one training center there. That time I was just working. That was not my company. When a company called me and they want me to advise them a forklift operator, I usually give them a conditions. I don't have a forklift operator that you can pay for $19 per hour. So most of them, some of them were running away, but the serious one, because they knew who I am, when they called me, because recruiters agency were call me all the time. Hey, we need a forklift operator. We need a forklift operator, but some of them are not serious. They just want a forklift operator that they will pay anyhow. So for me, when a forklift operator, oh man. point I wanted to mention, another point I wanted to mention is this. Forklift operator job is like, I usually repeat here, it's like an entrepreneur within a company. Why? Is because when they hire you, as I said, you did your test, they hire you, you start your job. You have made sure, as I give the tip here, that you'll be getting on time. But a forklift operator, you need to know when you get a job, your first day as you are starting, you need to build the mind of an entrepreneur who take decision and who solve problem at workplace. I keep on hammering that issue because when your supervisor or your floor manager will be giving you a task, they will not be there for you. As soon as they will describe what you need to do, they hand you the paper, the work document. You are the one who need to be taking decision on how to accomplish that within the frame time. So you are there for 8 hours. They have designed the work. You need to be doing your thing yourself. There's no one will be running after. It's not like when they say supervisor, it doesn't mean that the supervisor will be after you. Whenever you drive left, he's left, right is right, front is front. No. That's not how the supervisor will do the job. But there's someone who will be supervising you. The supervisor is in charge of making sure you apply the safety measure. They mostly rely on camera and spontaneous show up. Yes. So the supervisor who's in the office usually communicate with someone in the floor who's handling you, who's an experienced forklift operator, who's providing him information. And then the supervisor, time to time, throw his eye on the camera, and spontaneously the supervisor will show up on the floor, on the floor where you guys are working, throw some eye. So that's how supervisor, if they signal the supervisor that you are not wearing a seat belt, the supervisor will come and tell you, hey, make sure you wear your seat belt because the regulation require, and then it's dangerous for you. But if the supervisor tell you 1 time, 2 times you are not doing, if they fire you, you will not say they didn't inform you. So coming back to my point I wanted to make is that when you are going to this field as a forklift operator, build your brain as an entrepreneur working in a company, because forklift operator is like entrepreneur taking decision every day at his business. They are challenged, but that entrepreneur need to find solution. Therefore, you need to be ready to find those solutions. You need to be ready to do things independently. If they describe your job per day, they show you what to do. You'll not be coming all the time to say, oh, what should I do here? What should I do here? If you are doing that, they will fire you. Because there's no way they will put someone to be showing you step by step every day on what you need to do, how you need to pick. No, it will not work. So they will describe what you need to do. You now design your plan on how to accomplish it. That's the job of operator. And they will not be after you. They will just be checking. That's why I'm insisting on the safety at the workplace. Because when you are working in an environment that there's other people, and other people are sending information. Imagine you are driving scarily, you are driving dangerously, or you are driving, you are driving in such a way that people are jumping out or people are scared. Of course, they will complain to the manager or they will complain to the supervisor. And then the supervisor will show and say, hey, You need to know how to drive. People are here because if you are scaring people when you are driving, and one of the things when you have a job, one of the things factory operators do is that they will be on the phone. Forget it. They'll be on the phone, or they'll put the earphone. They'll put the earphone, and they'll put the earphone. So they'll put the earphone like this. They are not. They'll put the earphone. They are on their phone listening to music. They are not hearing environment. They are not observing. Their brain is in their music. They'll fire you because the requirement is that you need to be alert. You need to be communicating as you are moving with your forklift in the workplace. So don't come here and tell me that, oh no, even if I'm listening to my music, I'm focused. As these teenagers do, they'll tell you that, oh, there are certain people who tell you that I study when I'm listening to music. I don't believe that. And if you come to the workplace, you bring that habit, thinking that you'll be in your music, if your earphone, earbud putting on your ear, and then be walking. No supervisor, at least to those high responsible company, they will fire you. They will warn you. They will tell you to stop. But if you don't do it, they will fire you because you create accident. You may say, oh, I'll be focused. No way. They cannot count on you to say you'll be focused when you are listening. Let's say you are listening your rumba from Brazil, and it's giving you memory of when you were visiting Brazil with a pretty girl, and then your brain is gone, and then boom, you hit the rack. People are not in your life. So you cannot convince them that you will be with them there. So the only way to convince them that you are there is when you are alert, when you are driving. Hey. It's like you communicate. Like part of you, as I said in one of my videos, is that every day at workplace, send signal to your supervisor that you are managing safety like himself. Tell your supervisor, your manager, that you are actually a safety manager yourself. You are minding the business of safety. So if you see someone is backing up without looking the back, hey, tell him, because that is protecting the whole environment. But if you are on your phone, how will you hear? If somebody is driving his forklift, is backing up, or he didn't horn, or is passing through a blind spot, and or is crossing a door, he didn't horn, he didn't press the horn, tell him no, you need to press it. Or if yourself, because you don't hear, you put your earbud, you cannot hear when they are horning to alert you that there's something happening. Why would they take you serious at workplace? So new beginner there, or even experienced forklift operator, they are still doing that because some manager, they will neglect, but they are, as I said, they are just waiting when the accident happens before they react. I don't want to be reactive. I want to be proactive as a forklift operator. That's why your training matters. And I keep on repeating people here. Your value in a company as a forklift operator is the way you are conducting yourself. How? Every day, prove that you are part of the company by protecting people, by applying safety measure protocol. If you are doing that, the company will value you. Before you see, your salary will be increased. Before you see, they'll move to another position because you are part of the company. You're helping the company not to fail in accident. You're helping the company to produce. You're helping the company to avoid fine. Therefore, the company wants you to stay. As I mentioned, 90 days, they'll fire you because your behavior is not compatible with the safety rule and the aim of the company. Anyway, that's what it is. So I mentioned you are hired, you went for a test, you are hired. Bravo. But the next step is that you need to build the mindset of an entrepreneur. Make sure you take decisions in the company. You listen to your instruction they gave you. You do your job by applying your safety. Don't run to hacks a silly question. No silly question. Sorry, I retract my word. Don't run for each moment to your supervisor to ask questions that you can solve. Example, you are busy picking load in a particular area, and then you find that the area is blocked with a load that a forklift driver, a truck driver had dropped the load in the night, and he had blocked that area. Instead of finding solution of removing, clearing the area before you start working, you go and ask someone what to do. If you go and ask someone, hey, the area is blocked, I'm busy working here. You think what the supervisor will answer you, how the supervisor will note you. The only thing you need to tell in that case, they have blocked the way that you need to navigate to do your job. You find a solution. You unblock it and you report to the supervisor that where you were working, there's a pallet that they drop, and then you have unblocked it and you have positioned here. The supervisor will say, thank you very much, because you'll be doing your job, you have found a solution. So later the supervisor will now think where to position that pallet or that lump stock that was blocking your way. The supervisor will find solution later on where to position it. But you have solved a problem, the supervisor will value your solution. Then so that's why I said a forklift operator is like an entrepreneur within the company. You have solved a solution, you are busy working. Then as on your work, as you are dropping load from the height, from the eye level, you are taking decision by yourself on to decide whether you are properly doing it or is above the line. Those decisions is you need to make. There's no one will come and say, hey, you have put this pallet here. Can you push left? Can you push right? No. You need to take those decisions. Of course, the supervisor running around on the aisle, if he sees that you are basically putting load, however disorganized, of course, they call you in the office to warn you. They said, this is not correct. They will do that. Therefore, you need to build that mindset of solving the problem as you are working as a forklift operator. I'm sorry, that's the difficult part of forklift operator, because you need to make decisions by yourself daily in your workplace. And the fun part about this, for my conclusion today, is that if you have understood on how to operate forklift safely at workplace, you have worked for a year, your bargaining chips, your tool to negotiate higher salary, your tool to get a job faster, your tool to make money goes out of the roof. They will go up the roof. Because why? After 1 year, you have ability to get a job if you are serious. Then the rest is up to you. You can decide that I need to do this job for 5 years and then move on to another one. Oh, it's